Hi, everybody. So welcome to our discussion on some emerging technologies, discussion with Jura on emerging tech like 3D and augmented reality. So this will be a bit of a fireside chat with Bradley Cooper. And so my name is Adam Morris. I am the CEO here at Redstage, and Redstage is a e-commerce and digital transformation consultancy as well as a platform and systems integrator. Bradley, why don't you just briefly introduce yourself?
Sure, no problem. My name's Bradley Cooper. I'm the senior e-commerce manager here at Jura. I've been working at Jura since 2008 across a number of different departments. Our brand represents the very best Swiss engineered automatic coffee machines. We're proud to be a premium luxury brand that provides the very best high quality home coffee solutions.
Yeah, good. So, Bradley, why don't you tell me a little bit more about? Let's dig into the brand a little bit in terms of, who are your customers? What do you guys stand for? And what experiences are your customers expecting from you?
Sure. I think that's an interesting question, Adam, because I think, when we think about our customer, that perhaps has changed a little bit over the last couple of years. We are certainly a premium brand with, very premium price points. And I think as, American consumers' coffee habits have changed over the years, we've become a more universal solution, not just for maybe high-end luxury customers, but also for customers who just really appreciate good coffee. They don't want to drink coffee from their traditional methods, less expensive coffee machines, percolators, drip coffee makers, and they're looking for a home coffee solution that's going to kind of provide them the specialty coffee that they're getting out in their favorite local cafes and restaurants.
Yeah, yeah. And so we've been working together for what 5 years now, and you guys have seen some what I would say tremendous growth over that time. Um,
Absolutely.
how what insights can you give us on some of the keys to success, some of the technology decisions that you've made that have supported that journey?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting story to tell, Adam. When I came onto the e-commerce department back in 2018, I had already kind of developed. I had come from a more traditional marketing background, and one of the other things that I'm really kind of proud of is I developed this unique passion for the product itself. And when I joined the e-commerce team, I had a lot to learn about that end of the business, and I think that's where Redstage came in because I had all this passion and this product knowledge, and I needed to figure out a way to translate that to e-commerce success, right? To direct to consumer success. And to your point, I think where Redstage really stepped in and helped was being able to offer these technology solutions that would enhance our website, enhance our direct to consumer experience. Things like video chat sessions, things like this 3D modeling, this augmented reality platform that we built out that I'm sure we'll talk about. I think that was what we had to kind of realize over those 5 years.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so walk us through what you see is we touched on it a little bit with what your customers are looking for, but walk us through what you see as your customers looking for in a direct to consumer channel, and how has that evolved over the past few years?
Yeah, look, especially with a premium product, customers expect a lot from their experience, as they should, right? The journey should be fun, it should be efficient, it should be exciting. They need to gain information. They want to be romanced before they purchase a product like this. And once they have decided that they want to become the owner of a Jura machine, they might have questions that they need answered, certain perhaps hangups that they need resolved before they're ready to make that checkout. And then finally, once they are ready to make the purchase, it needs to be streamlined, it needs to be easy, and it needs to work well. And I think those are all different aspects. When you look at the um, the Jura Live video chat session, all the way to this 3D modeling that we'll talk about later. That we've worked with Redstage to help kind of build out our tech to satisfy those customers.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that echoes what we're seeing across the board for direct to consumer. I mean, I think for manufacturers, if we go back a few years, customers were buying direct from the manufacturers for, a couple of different main reasons. They wanted to deal directly with the manufacturer, maybe because they thought there was a better warranty, better service. To them, there's a certain experience about just buying directly from the manufacturer versus, say, a retailer, right?
Mm.
But I think now we're emerging to a point where customers are experiencing customers are expecting, I'm sorry, the entire experience through the digital channel to mimic the brand experience, to be part of their purchasing process, as opposed to purchasing from an Amazon or a Williams Sonoma or another big box retailer, right, where you're essentially just going to get the same experience. You're going to be looking at a set of product pictures, some specifications, some reviews, a price, and add to cart, right? If we're going to a manufacturer, as a consumer, we want more than that now, right? We want that entire communication through that journey to represent and enhance the brand, and that's what we're seeing, where it's becoming a little bit different. And I think the pandemic may have been a little catalyst there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think you make a couple of important points, especially as it applies to our product, right? When you're talking about a coffee machine that could cost, anywhere between two, three, up to $6,000 for a residential unit, it's something that the customer oftentimes, wants to experience. They want to touch it. They want to feel it. Before they're ready to make that purchase. And in the past, we certainly and certainly now we still rely on retail outlets, in-store demo machines, this kind of thing where customers can have that experience. I think even prior to the pandemic, we realized that in order to truly maximize our direct to consumer business, our e-commerce business for the Jura brand, there were certain steps we were going to have to take. And then to your point, I mean, when the pandemic hit, and look, brick and mortar retail stores for quite some time might not have been an option for some customers. Then we said to ourselves, look, we need to be able to offer a virtual showroom, an experience, a journey that's different than just your typical product page where you're looking at bullet points or simple photos. And I think that's really, where our focus has been. And to your point, that's like, I think, just to bring up that Jura Live chat session, we started building that out kind of early on. That's been a valuable tool. And then recently adding these 3D models, this augmented reality program, has been a natural next step for us.
So let's talk a little bit about the Jura Live and the video chat. And the reason, I know everybody wants this. I'm sure everybody wants us to get into AR and 3D modeling, because that's what everybody came for. But I want to dig into that because, one, because of your success rate in kind of picking emerging technologies and what to invest in, and two, to reinforce the point that for a brand and a market and a customer base, meeting the customer where they're at, giving them the tools and experience that they're looking for. So, can you tell us a little bit about how you decided to get into that, and what that's done for the business?
Sure, look, it was at the time, honestly, and this was 2016, right? So this was a bit prior to the pandemic, but there was still risk, a lot of risk when we thought about doing this. It was a great idea, something that Jura really thought would be a home run, but building out a studio, using the resources to build an appointment and a booking system on the website platform, making sure that everything came together so that the video feed coincided with the website, having the studio up and running, getting all these pieces to fit together was no small task, and certainly, didn't come without risk. But because we knew that our customer demanded this, demanded to have these questions answered, to have this more romantic experience, in order to make a purchase to buy a premium product, we thought it was the right thing to do. And look, without having the numbers in front of me, it's been a smash success. We get something to the effect of an 81% conversion value when we get customers who have booked and completed a Jura Live appointment, and then will go on to make a purchase on shopjura.com.
Which is absolutely amazing. I mean, you don't hear about 81% conversion in any context,
Yeah.
right? So, I think it's important when you look at, we see folks all the time barraged by many different elements of emerging tech, and I think it's so important to be able to get that. And thank you for sharing these real world examples of what's working and what's not working, right? So let's talk a little bit about AR and 3D modeling. How did you think about AR and 3D modeling? How did the decision process go to get into it? And what are the why do you think that connects so well with your market?
Sure. That it really, I will say this one really did kind of coincide with the the emergence of COVID-19 and the pandemic, because at this point, we realized that a lot of our business was going to shift to direct to consumer. There are only so many Jura Live appointments available in a day, and now all of a sudden, where you had consumers, maybe X amount of consumers who would be willing to purchase online. I mean, that number skyrocketed for us in the matter of just a few days and weeks as that the pandemic emerged. Once this happened, we realized that we needed to take that next step, and that's where Redstage, who has always been such a good solutions partner for us, really kind of helped us come to this idea of augmented reality. How could you take a simple PDP page and turn it into an experience for the customer that would help them feel romantic about the brand, help them feel comfortable, build trust with the brand, and give us an edge when it comes to really promoting these machines without being able to actually touch the machine, feel the machine, taste the coffee, right? So I think that was kind of the next step for us, and it's just worked out fantastically so far.
And Bradley, have you gotten any feedback from any of your customers? Have you been able to discuss with them what it means to them to be able to see it and feel it in a different way?
Yeah, and no, and again, it speaks to the success of this program because within that Jura Live video chat feature, one of the things that we're able to do is pull up a window within, bring up the website, and it is amazing to hear the customers' reactions when we show them this augmented reality technology, to see the 3D models, to have be able to movement, to see the side, the front, the back, even to envision it in their home themselves through a smart device like a phone or a tablet was a real wow factor for them. So no doubt it certainly helped with sell through, and the proof has been in the pudding.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that really reinforces what you're reinforcing is this is a new mode of communication and supporting that premium experience for a premium brand, and kind of culminating with the pandemic experience, right? Of folks really wanting more out of the e-commerce site sitting at home. So let's dive in. I mean, I think what people are most curious about is the results. What has the ROI been? What have you seen in terms of concrete results from this?
Sure. And again, it was more of a matter for us where we thought to ourselves, how do we create this virtual showroom for our customers? And then once we decided that this is what we wanted to do, we had to choose, well, where would we start, right? For us, we picked our super premium machine, our highest price point. This is a machine that had the most to learn about, the most features, benefits. You had to really convince a customer a reason to buy for something like this. And with the Giga 6, we launched the AR technology in July 2021. In the 6 months since launching the model, we saw a 28% lift in gross sales for that product compared to the prior period. When we looked year over year, the same period, a 65% increase in sales. So just a fantastic return on investment right off the bat with the Giga 6.
Yeah, and that's one that is incredibly great results, and two, what I think is interesting is the change in average order value. We see a lot of times when conversion rate goes up, especially significantly, we see a correlation with AOV coming down a little bit, right? And we've been part of a lot of conversion rate studies, primary research, and things like that. And while we don't have an exact rationale behind it, one of the things we see is that maybe it's giving access to some non-core products that might be accessories or lower dollar value and um, longer tail, right? But in
Well,
this case, go ahead, go ahead,
Well,
Brad.
it's interesting you bring that up, Adam, because once we launched that one product, the Giga 6, and we saw the results right away, the idea, the thing you mentioned about average order value, I want to kind of tell you this story. We saw this was a great success with the Giga 6. So we continued to add the 3D augmented reality platform to more and more models. Okay. When we did this over that same 6 month period, we saw a 15% lift in e-commerce conversion rate. And to your point, a 36% increase in average order value. So, by adding it to our higher price point machines, it, it, it increased the sell through on those. It increased the conversion value, and that led to a higher average order value, because of the value of these machines. Not only that, we saw an increase for accessories, for care products, because I think it all goes back to getting that customer excited, to getting that customer to believe and trust in the brand. And I think the augmented reality really played a huge role in that.
Yeah, and it's amazing that you were able to take the most premium product, right, the hardest to sell on the site, and that saw the most dramatic increases, right, right off the bat,
It did.
uh,
Yep.
which is amazing. We don't hear too many stories about technologies that can do that. So Bradley, I mean, you've obviously made some good bets over the past couple of years, right? You and the Jura team have made some good bets, some good investments. I think we can see. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you see for the future? How is the market changing? How do you see the market changing over the next year, 2 years with um, the pandemic still bringing people to a home experience versus an office experience, and what do you see us investing in going forward?
Yeah, look, I think we're in a great position, Adam. Look, when it comes to our products specifically, I mean, consumers' habits are changing. Instant coffee, older brewing methods are not as popular with consumers as they once were, and instead, customers want to have that coffee house experience, that delicious cappuccino, that flat white or macchiato, right in the comfort of their own home. So in that sense, from the residential side of things, I just think we're in a fantastic position because look, even if the pandemic is waning, which we're all hoping that that's the case, of course, I think customers' shopping habits have frankly changed, and I don't know, or at least a certain segment of the population, their habits. Will probably continue to be focused on e-commerce as opposed to actual retail. And then, when we look at the office setting, as this variant wanes, we're seeing more and more people go back to office. So I think it kind of presents two separate challenges for us, right? When it comes to office use and workplace machines, Jura is really over the years, offered a lot of great options, and we continue to offer new and exciting options there as well. And I think that's the balance we have to. The challenge for us is to be able to grow both these channels. And I think certainly we're at the ground floor of that. I think there's still a ton of room for growth. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, Bradley, what I'm hearing from that as well is it's the importance of understanding where your customer is at today, what their desired experience is, why are they buying, what is your value proposition, and what is it emerging to be, right? We talked a little earlier about the difference between a big box retailer experience and a manufacturer experience, and we see, our customers investing in creating, making their experience that bigger extension of their brand and meeting them where they want to be. taking them through a different journey than they would be able to go through at a big box retailer. That makes it, uniquely that brand. And I know you guys are continuing to invest and continuing to invest in the future. And I think you've done a great job. The results have obviously been there, and I really appreciate you spending the time to talk to talk to the audience here about some real world examples, because I do think that it is hard to find quality, solid, real world examples, especially in emerging tech. So I want to thank you. I want to congratulate you on the success that you've had year on year, and we only have upward to go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Again, we're so grateful for our partnership. I think it's worked out really well. And to your point, I mean, I think that we're really proud of what we've accomplished. But I think the important thing is to focus on the future and what's next, right? And that's kind of the thing that I'm most excited about is what's the next step, what's the next game changer, and that's what we'll be looking to do as we kind of move forward in this brave new world.
Great, Bradley. Appreciate your time, and we'll catch up together soon.
All right. Thanks, Adam.